What's up, Bulldogs? I was trying to decide if I should make this video go on this channel or the Simple Programmer channel. Decided to go with this channel since it is more of a philosophy question. Today, I'm going to answer the question of how to discover the unknown unknowns. He says here, John, how would you discover the unknown unknown? And he says, hello, John. My name is Xavier. I work in Silicon Valley as a software developer, and I'm a loyal follower of yours. I read your book, Soft Skills, bought your course, 10 Steps to Learn Anything Quickly from Simple Programmer, and have been following your channel on YouTube for over a year. I went to the gym and changed my body fat percentage from 25% to 12%, used the Pomodoro method to become a top performer at my company, and started to view the entire industry / the world differently. I want to sincerely thank you for all the transformation and the teaching from you. Well, thank you. I'll say this to what I say to most people, which is that you're the one who took action, right? A lot of people will hear a message and they won't take action. Taking action is key. How would you discover the unknown unknown? For example, I discovered you completely by chance because I happened to see somebody reading your book, Soft Skills, on Twitter, a solid reinforcement of your viewpoint. Why do you write books? You can't make money. But I hadn't chosen to browse Twitter. Hadn't I chosen to browse Twitter on that day, I could have never known you. I smiled when I heard you saying, if you would have encountered Tony Robbins, or if I would have encountered Tony Robbins when I was 18, in a letter to my younger self, John Sonmez, because I thought, if I would have read Soft Skills 3 years earlier. So I guess this is a question to philosopher John about how should us better discover the unknown unknown. To me, you are the unknown unknown. I would never have thought of any programmer thinking of life as you do. This is the teaching I badly needed but wasn't able to find. How would you uncover your unknown unknown areas and hence make faster progress in your life? I want to start off with something that is a little bit woo-woo, even though I'm going to lose some people by doing this, because I think this is something just to understand about life. I was just having this discussion with someone who was wondering if they made the wrong choices in life and if they're going backwards. And I told them, you cannot make a wrong choice in life. It's not possible. And here's why. The reason why is because everything happens for a reason. And also, every single thing that has happened, every choice that you have made, while it may not have been good, it was necessary to get you to where you are right now and to be the person that you are right now. You couldn't have had it happen any other way. There was no other path. Now, I'm not going to get into a debate of free will, right? Because that's not what the point is. And I think that's a very limited viewpoint to say that we're either have sovereignty or we don't over our consciousness. For the most part, we're asleep and we're automatons just wandering through life. But we can wake up. I believe that. But again, there's still an element of randomness, a huge element of randomness to life. And again, I do believe that like I said, everything happens for a reason. Everything, this is whether you believe that there's some cosmic reason for this or some God or it doesn't matter. What I really emphasize, okay, for you guys and part of the Bulldog mindset is the idea that the beliefs you hold should be valuable to you. I firmly do believe that there is truth to the fact that everything happens for a reason. Okay, I've seen enough evidence in my life that convinces me of that. But even if that were not necessarily true, it would not be a beneficial belief to believe anything other than that, for the simple fact that regret is not and shame is not an actual thing that actually helps you in any way in your life. Okay, so that's why I say that you cannot regret the choices that you make. So that's sort of the first place I want to talk about, and also just this cosmic chance of running into things, of discovering things. There's so many events in my life that have occurred that it is only by the hair, just by a small hair, just a fraction of a second, just a timing of a thing that allowed me to discover this thing or to meet this person or to have this interaction that completely changed the course of my life and the course of other people's lives. So there's all kinds of interesting things happening. We would call them coincidences, but it's just the way that things are laid out. And I know that there's been so many events in my life that like I said, and again, it's, you know, it's these things like that's the kind of the beauty of life, is that you don't know what thing, this one small thing, like showing up 5 minutes early or 5 minutes late, completely could change the course of your life, right? We think it's like the things that we're actively working on, and we can change our lives in those respects, but it's the small little singularities that happen that actually drastically affect our lives more than anything else. So talking about this idea of unknown unknowns, okay, what does it mean to be an unknown unknown? It's the things that you don't know about. How do you discover those things? How do you run into these things? How does he, you know, discover me and find these videos and change his life around? But he just happened to be on Twitter that day, Xavier, and he happened to see that book, and then that started that whole chain reaction of events. The best way to make these things happen, or to increase the likelihood of these, is I'm going to give you two ways. Okay. One way is to put yourself into situations that make you uncomfortable and to new experiences, right? So my life really didn't start changing and having all of these, you know, events occur that are very strange, that have directed me in many paths, until I started becoming a lot more, I'd say, accepting and open to ideas, right? It doesn't mean that I just believe any ridiculous thing, but I started reading a lot of books on kind of like new age stuff, and like stuff that didn't make sense, and stuff that like the analytical engineering mind of mine in the past would have said, this is bullshit. This, you know, books like Think and Grow Rich and stuff like that. And I started saying, hey, look, you know what? I'm not going to fight this. I'm just going to look at this and see and learn. And by opening myself to those experiences, I created these, I opened up more paths to these unknown unknowns, right? Because if you're living in a bubble, the unknown unknowns are way out there, right? If you're not in the bubble, then at least some of those unknowns become known unknowns, right? Where you still don't know about the thing like in detail, but you know that it exists, right? And so the more exposure you get to new ideas, to new people, to new environments and other ways of thinking, the more that you will get exposed to these things, and the more likely that you're going to, you know, hit these quote chance events, and it's going to change your life, right? So my advice to you, my practical advice to you, is to stop being so stuck in your ways of thinking and believing that other people are wrong or stupid, or this is a scam, or this is ridiculous, or I know the truth. Because while the analytical and logical side of you does serve you, it's good, right? You should analyze deals. You should analyze situations. You should not be taken in by charlatans. If you are ignorant, you cannot know that you're ignorant. Okay. You cannot see that. You cannot have any way of detecting it, because by definition, ignorance says that you are unaware. There are things currently, right, if I were to draw this up, that you are ignorant about, that I am ignorant about, okay? And of those things, I have beliefs and you have beliefs that are ignorant beliefs, meaning that they are wrong because you don't know. Okay. And you're unaware of the fact that your beliefs are wrong. So you always have to come from the frame that anything that you believe could be wrong, because there is no certainty, because there is always the possibility of ignorance. Now, there are certain things that we're going to hold on to, and we're not going to just toss out all knowledge and all wisdom that we have in life. There's certain things that we feel more confident in, but we can never be 100% confident in any particular position. If you take that viewpoint and you apply that to life, you're going to be a lot more open to a lot more things. You're going to be willing to listen to the crazy psychic, okay, that claims to be able to read the universe and the stars or whatever. And you're not necessarily just going to take what that person says and believe it, but you're going to kind of see, why do they believe this? What is their viewpoint? Is there something here that I don't know or understand, right? And and that's going to shape a lot of, that pathway that you may discover something that completely changes your life. You're gonna run into more of the unknown. So I've kind of melded the first and second point. I told you I was going to give you a second point, but really the second point was going to be to open your mind more. But this is really the same thing. So it's all about that. It's all about realizing, when you understand that ignorance is undetectable, then you're much more likely to go down paths that you wouldn't go down, and down those paths you will find you will find new truth. You'll find things. I hold beliefs that are beneficial to me, not necessarily true. The truth of a thing is much more difficult to determine than the black and white logical mathematical way that we would like to believe it. And that's a hard concept to grasp. But it's also true that the truth, it's funny that I say that, it's kind of ironic, but the truth is not all that important. What is important is that beliefs that you have, that how they make you feel, and then the effect that they have on your life and the results that you have for the results that you want in life, right? It doesn't really matter if you know the truth, because like I said, the truth is somewhat of a difficult thing and ambiguous thing to be able to discover anyway. Okay, not saying that there isn't, things like universal truth. It's just that our observational powers of them and our understanding and capacity to understand them are great. Are not great enough in order to do it. So we can only find an approximation. And when you consider also the concept of ignorance on top of that, it really makes it so that you couldn't even know, right? There's no way you could ever know that a truth that you hold is absolutely true, right? Because of the possibility of being ignorant, which is literally means to not know what you don't know, right? So that's and that all falls into the realm of the unknown unknowns. How would you uncover the unknown areas and hence make faster progress in your life? A couple of quick tips to wrap this up. One of them is expose yourself to a wider range of ideas and people and situations. That's number one. Number two is be open in your viewpoint. Understand what I just said about ignorance and truth, and realize that you don't need to be searching out necessarily the truth. You need to search out what is an effective belief system to hold that both makes you happy or content, has gratitude in your life, or fulfilled, and produces the results that you want out of life. That's what's most important. Okay. And if you can do that, and you can be introspecting of yourself and understand that, that what you believe, some of that is not true, and you don't know which of it is true, you're going to find more of these truths. You're going to find more things that are going to benefit you. You're going to develop more of a philosophy. You're going to grow faster in life than someone who has it figured out and believes what they believe and stays in their bubble. So that's my basic answer there. If you want more information on this topic, make sure you click the subscribe button. I will talk to you next time. Take care.